Tere, mambo ni mawili, kufikisha, kumwaga na kurudi. Kulala ni mwaka mpya.
Muka we mse.
Nini mbaya?
Wewe kwani wani vile dereva anaendesha gari vibaya, lazima tususe.
Anaendesha gari na kwa simu the whole time, hata angalia barabara.
Tusimame. Ewe dereva wewe, mwaka iliyopita peke yake watu zaidi ya 3,000 walipoteza maisha yao barabarani kwa sababu ya tabia kama hizo. Hautatuangamiza tukiona.
Naomba msamaha, nitamtaka vizuri.
Si wameomba msamaha. Sasa tuende tusafiri kwa mwendo wa aste.
Dere Smart hufikisha abiria salama. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwako na NTSA kwa ushirikiano na European Union.
Well, from wherever you're watching in Kenya and around the globe, this is KBC Prime Edition coming to you live from Broadcasting House along Harry Thuku Road. I am Tom Mboya. Good evening. Our top stories opens our coverage tonight.
Fanya delay, wanataka kudelay, wanataka kusabotage, wanataka kufanya nini? Hiyo mchezo wawache. We are going to move forward as a country, and we have made a decision that Kenya is going to change. And nobody is going to stop the transformation of Kenya again.
President Ruto warns the judiciary against throwing a spanner in his affordable housing plan.
We demand that the entire allocation of CDF must be released within 7 days as is due.
When it comes to issues regarding Kenyans, we don't joke. We are going to take you head on.
United for money. MPs from across the political divide in a rare unity to demand release of funds to their respective constituencies. A prodigal son, Jimmy Wanjigi, returns to Baba after a fallout in the run-up to the 2022 general poll. Brian Muraro is our sign language interpreter, our socials at KBC Channel 1. Welcome. Now we begin with a story that is a piece that might interest you in the area of indiscipline. The National Transport and Safety Authority has attributed lane indiscipline to the Tuesday dawn accident that claimed 15 lives along the Nakuru-Eldoret highway. NTSA says that preliminary crash analysis indicate that dangerous overtaking on the part of the bus driver led to the head-on collision with a 14-seater matatu. The bus driver of the bus, christened Classics King of Congo, is at large. All those who perished were occupants of the 14-seater matatu.
The wreckage tells of the 2:45 a.m. horror at the Twin Bridge area along the Nakuru-Eldoret highway. This bus belonging to Classic Kings of Congo lost control and rammed into this 14-seater matatu linked to Northwest shuttles.
Hii basi mguu ilibust. Sasa mguu kubust na dereva akashindwa na udhibiti wa hiyo gari. Sasa kupanda chini kulikuwa na Nissan inapanda. So hiyo Nissan ikakuja basi ikakuja ikagonga Nissan na ikaingiza kwa mtaro.
It is an accident that claimed 15 lives, among them 7 children. Kuresoi North OCPD Juda Gathenge said all passengers in the shuttle heading to Nairobi died on the spot.
We lost 15 lives, 8 adults and 7 children aged between 1 year and 15 years. Kwa basi hakuna mtu aliaga hata mmoja.
38 passengers in the bus escaped unhurt, while 3 sustained serious injuries and are receiving treatment at the Molo Sub-County Hospital. 10 others sustained minor injuries.
Hii inaweza kuita black spot kwa sababu ajali ambazo tumekuwa tukipatana nazo hapa zimekuwa nyingi, watoto wamepoteza uhai, pia watu wazima hapa. Kwa hivyo sijui tungeomba serikali tuwasaidie kwa njia aina gani.
The driver of the matatu perished. The driver of the bus escaped immediately after the accident. But in due course, because we are looking for him, the moment we get him, he is going to give us at least of whatever happened, and then we can be able to give further details of whatever about that particular accident.
In a statement, the National Transport and Safety Authority said that lane indiscipline and dangerous overtaking by the bus driver led to the accident, according to preliminary investigations. NTSA added that police are in pursuit of the driver who fled the scene of the accident. Drivers have been urged to be extra cautious while on the road, especially now when children are going back to school. According to comparative statistic trends from NTSA, 41 people had died from road accidents as of the 7th of January 2023. However, as of the 7th of January 2024, the number stood at 54 deaths. These included pedestrians, drivers and passengers. Nancy Okware, Prime Edition.
On to another disturbing report. A family of 3 has been attacked and killed by bandits at Mboya Junction in Baringo North constituency. According to area residents, the father, mother and their 3-year-old child were ambushed while heading to a pass-out ceremony in the area and sprayed with bullets. The man and his child died on the spot, while his wife succumbed to injuries later on. The border riders ferrying the family escaped with injuries and are currently receiving treatment at the Baringo County Referral Hospital. The bodies of the deceased have been moved to the hospital's morgue.
Nabeba mama na watoto wake. Mimi nilikuwa nabeba huyo mzee na kijana mwingine. Kapika huyo mwingine sasa kakufa hapo. Huyo mama tena kapika huyo mwingine kakufa hapo na mtoto. Sisi tukajeruhiwa na majira tukatoka.
Na wote walikuwa na silaha. So baada ya tukio hilo wao wakachukua hizo vitu yote wakaelekea msituni. So taharuki imetanda katika eneo letu la Baringo Kaskazini. Mpaka saa hizi hatujui sasa jinsi tutakavyoishi area hiyo.
One got some serious injury. That is the rider, and he's already gotten transfusion, 2 pints, and we have 2 extra pints, but he's already in theater, awaiting to be attended by our orthopedic surgeon.
Now let's move away from that one, and President William Ruto has maintained that the affordable housing program is unstoppable. The president said that the independence of the judiciary must not be abused by individual interests. He made those remarks at the groundbreaking for the construction of over 1,000 affordable housing units in Uasin Gishu Tuesday. Wycliffe Okech has the details.
The president Tuesday broke ground for the construction of affordable housing units in Soy and Kapsaret constituencies in Uasin Gishu County, saying the program, albeit facing headwinds, must succeed.
Wanataka kutufanyia delay, wanataka kudelay, wanataka kusabotage, wanataka kufanya nini? Hiyo mchezo wawache. We are going to move forward as a country, and we have made a decision that Kenya is going to change. And nobody is going to stop the transformation of Kenya again.
The tough-talking president warned against abusing judicial independence in the country to deny Kenyans their constitutional, social and economic rights.
Katiba ya Kenya inasema Tulienda kwa uchaguzi tukaweka manifesto program ya housing. Mimi nimeenda bunge imepitisha sheria ya housing. Alafu watu wawili watatu wanaenda kotini ati wanaenda kusimamisha. Hapana.
According to President Ruto, the affordable housing program transcends beyond accommodation and must succeed as one way of tackling youth unemployment in the country.
Hiyo kazi tunataka kuzalisha ajira 1,000,000 kwa vijana wa Kenya kupitia hii program ya housing. Na hii program ya housing sio wale wanafanya kazi hapa peke yake ndio wako na nafasi. Hapa tuko na chuma hii. Chuma inatengeneza kwenye kampuni. Wale wako kampuni huko wanapata kazi, wanatutengenezea chuma, inatransportiwa na wengine, inafika hapa, tunaifanyia kazi.
Accompanying leaders, among them Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, urged those opposed to the program to rethink their stance.
Raisi, sisi tuna encourage wewe. Wenye kukuandika kazi ni hawa. Hawa ndio matajiri wako. Hapana watu ya kotini. Matajiri ya rais ni nani? Munasema aendelee asiendelee.
Your Excellency, wale watu wameenda kotini. Sisi hatukubaliane na hawa. Watu waambie hawa vijana wanataka tuwapeleke wapi. Mwanze kusave pesa ya manyumba. Msingoje mpaka hii manyumba iishe. Endeni kwa hiyo mtandao, anza kuapply, anza kusave.
With the court ruling on the affordable housing program scheduled on 26th January 2024, it now remains to be seen which direction the affordable housing program will take, with President William Ruto maintaining that the program is unstoppable. Reporting for Prime Edition from Uasin Gishu County, I am Wycliffe Okech.
A section of members of the National Assembly has given Treasury Cabinet Secretary Professor Njuguna Ndung'u 7 days to disperse NGCDF funds or face impeachment. The members of Parliament held a kamkunji in Parliament over the 7-month delay in the release of the funds by the Treasury and resolved to demand a special sitting next week if the situation persists.
Over 25 members of the National Assembly from across the political divide held an informal meeting in Parliament to discuss the Treasury's delay in disbursing the National Government Constituency Development Fund, NGCDF. The members give the Treasury 7 days to deposit the money, or else they convene a special sitting to take action on Treasury Cabinet Secretary Professor Njuguna Ndung'u.
Many of us have left our constituencies when we saw that there is this kamkunji. And you better take us seriously. And we also want to say, kindly stop trying to intimidate members. Our first call is to our constituents.
We demand that the entire allocation of CDF must be released within 7 days as is due. And if that is not done, we will call for a special sitting of the House. When we call for a special sitting, secondly, we will then draft appropriate motions against the CS Treasury and against the CDF board or any such other entity as we may determine at the time.
NGCDF allocation for the year 2023-2024 is at least 63 billion shillings. The MPs claim not a shilling has been disbursed by the Treasury 7 months after the financial year began. The consequence of the delay is the lack of bursaries required, especially now schools are reopening.
Jioni hii nataka pesa 75% kwa imeingia kwa account. Hataki kuambiwa iko kwa board ama iko wapi. Sisi tunajua CDF account zetu hasina pesa.
We want to tell Treasury that we are not joking and we are going to take them head on. When it comes to issues regarding Kenyans, we don't joke. We are going to take you head on. And please release that money today.
The MPs have also taken issue with NGCDF board for issuing a memo stating it will not be releasing funds.
We want to say categorically that in our opinion, that memo is misguided, it's unlawful, and it is improper, and it must be withdrawn.
Last year, Treasury through the House Speaker Moses Wetangula committed to release the funds by the end of 2023. Gishuki Washira, Prime Edition.
Azimio leader Raila Amolo Odinga and Safina Party's Jimmy Wajige appear to have closed ranks following their fallout in the run-up to the 2022 general poll. Raila and Wanjigi were Tuesday held up in a meeting here in the capital city for hours on end. The aides of the two politicians said their discussion centered on high cost of living and other matters of national interest. As Abdiaziz Hashim reports, Wanjigi has thrown his weight behind Odinga's call for mass action against the high cost of living.
For the first time in more than a year, Raila Amolo Odinga and Jimmy Wanjigi have been spotted in public together. The two had fallen out in the run-up to the 2022 presidential election, having read from different scripts of a policy and campaign. Raila and Wanjigi appear to have let bygones be bygones, choosing to work together in pressuring the government to dance to the tunes of the opposition politics.
Na wananchi wanaumia. Najua wa Magata pahali ako ate wewe analilia sisi wananchi hapa.
Sources in the meeting told KBC that Wanjigi supports Raila's call for the resumption of street protests to push back against taxation and the high cost of living. The two also discussed the friction between the executive and the judiciary, terming it unwarranted. The working relationship waned months before 2022 general election, and for the better part of 2023, they have not seen eye to eye. Abdiaziz Hashim for Prime Edition.
Some reactions here now. Celebrations enter day 2 in different parts of the country. On Tuesday, one day after the release of the 2023 KCSE results, more KCSE top performers say they are hopeful of pursuing careers of their choice in leading universities in the country and abroad. Here is Alvin Kaunda with the latest on exam celebrations.
Hanif Academy in East Lee, Nairobi County celebrated the 2023 KCSE after the school posted good results. According to the school's principal, all the 41 registered students who sat for the 2023 KCSE examinations attained C+ and above, 5 students leading with A-.
We had 15 girls attempting exams and 25 boys, whereby the boys managed to get a mean score of 6.32 and the girls scored a mean score of 7.6.
Today I'm so happy to achieve one of my best goals in my life. I'm here to appreciate my teachers, my parents, and all those who are around me when I was achieving my goals.
In Nairobi, Kayole Estate, more celebrations.
I was aspiring to become a pilot. Nilikuwa nataka kufanya aviation. So I'm looking forward to have a sponsorship so that I might be able to reach my dreams.
Meanwhile, education stakeholders from Kitale, Trans Nzoia County have urged parents to consider enrolling their children in local schools. In Kisii County, Nyabururu girls recorded the highest number of candidates who qualified for university. The girls' school had a total of 611 candidates who scored above the grade of C+, followed by Kisii School with 522 candidates. Finally, in Thika, Embu County, a needy student who scored an A- in the 2023 KCSE is appealing for support in joining university. While celebrating with his friends and family, Lewis Kamau attributed his success to hard work, prayer, and discipline.
Success is not about having money, so that's the part. Success is about showing other people the way. I envision myself starting an NGO of helping young men, finding a compass for them.
For Prime Edition, I'm Alvin Kaunda.
By the way, learners are reporting back to school for the first time amid concerns over the rising cost of learning material. Speaking to KBC Channel 1 in Mombasa, a section of parents said that the demands of the competency-based curricula have forced them to dig a little deeper into their pockets.
At the Mboya bus stage in Mombasa, parents accompanying their children for the first time admission jostle for transport as school reopens for the first time this year. Traffic remained low during the better part of the day. Harrison Kahindi has 2 children in secondary school. He has a resilient spirit even as he grapples to meet the cost of both of his children.
Hali imekuwa ngumu, hali si rahisi. Na imebidi tunaingia hata madeni
kuona kukopa ili watoto waweze kuendelea na masomo. Na hata sasa unavyoniona ninampeleka na mdomo kavu afike shule mambo mengine baadaye.
For Linda Nzioka, her family's desire to secure bursaries from the two tiers of government has not been fruitful.
Hali ya maisha venye imekuwa ngumu, sasa school fees ziko ghali, basari yenyewe yaja pesa kidogo. Watu angalie sisi, maana kuna kama huyu ana wenzake chini yake, wao na lazima wasaidike. Kwa hivyo serikali watu angalie kwa upande wa shule sana sana.
Linda says many parents are feeling the pinch, but are hopeful about the new year.
Waongeze ile pesa ya basari na wasaidie yule mtoto mwenye ukweli anahitaji kusaidiwa. Si tayari kuna wengine wako na uwezo alafu pia bado wako kwa ile kategoria ya kupata basari.
Hata ikiwa maisha ni magumu, tujitahidi. Tusiseme na tukawacha mikono nyuma, tuseme serikali peke yake sijui tufanyie bila sisi kujisaidia. Tunajisaidia kwanza, serikali inaingia baadaye.
Juni Karisa Mbele from Mombasa County.
Now, the Association of Public Health Officers are calling on the public and legislators to back the Environment, Health and Sanitation Bill. The association explains that the bill's primary goal is to prevent and reduce health risks from environmental hazards, tackling the social and economic costs of preventable diseases due to poor sanitation and pollution.
This is a game changer in terms of reaching out to every communities, including communities that live in the rural area and not commercially viable. And once the act is enacted, I think it will be a gift to our nation.
We are concerned with the current state of environment, and if this bill is passed, is supported by all the stakeholders, it will benefit the whole country.
This bill only implements what is in the Constitution, so we call upon everyone to support the bill, all our stakeholders, members of Parliament, women representatives, the Senate, please let this bill come to be.
A health crisis looms in Embu County as doctors threaten to go on strike from midnight over poor working conditions. This development follows the lapse of a 21-day strike notice issued to the county government for failing to implement a collective bargaining agreement, CBA, if you like, including stagnation and also non-remittance of statutory deductions.
Solidarity forever.
Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union Upper Eastern Chair Dr. Dennis Mugambi said despite giving the strike notice, no action had been taken by the employer, leaving them with no option but to institute an industrial action.
Starting tonight, we are closing all the hospitals, and we are warning and we are giving an advice to wananchi in Embu County that anyone who has got any patient admitted in Embu County, you have only 12 hours to discharge your patient and take them to other counties effective tonight.
He said if the issues are not going to be addressed in the next 2 weeks, they shall sustain the strike for as long as it will take to have their grievances addressed.
Governor Cecily Mbarile amechukua ushukani hapa Embu County for the last 1 year. Na hajaonyesha hali yoyote hata ya kushughulikia hata jambo hata moja. Kila siku ni promise after promise that ya kwamba tutafanya, kila wakati ni ya kwamba hakuna pesa ambayo inapatikana hapa Embu County ya kulipa madaktari. Sisi tunasema ya kwamba daktari amechoka.
He said there was also a severe shortage of doctors, particularly at Embu Level 5 Hospital, which was negatively impacting the quality of healthcare provided to the citizens. Additionally, the chair said the county had not remitted their statutory deductions to relevant institutions, including bank loans, SACCO contribution insurance premiums, payee and HELB loans for close to 6 months despite being captured in their payslips. The doctors nonetheless expressed willingness for an open and constructive dialogue with the county government to find a lasting solution to these grievances. Beatrice Gatonyangetich, Prime Edition.
Well, that story by Beatrice Gatonya brings us to our first break. And coming up in the second half of this live broadcast, mission critical applications fail. We will tell you on which platform when we come back.
dereva, washindi wetu wamenyeshewa na chapaa na zawadi kemkem kona zote za nchi, ikiwa the grand prize ya Jijenge na Moti imenyakuliwa. Sasa Januari. Ziba njaa kupitia *570# na ujipatie ticket ya kuingia kwenye draw inayokupatia fursa ya kujishindia chapaa na zawadi zingine kemkem. 21st of January, Sunday 2024, na watangaza wawili, mshindi wa grand prize ya 500,000 Kenyan shillings na 1 million Kenyan shillings. Yes, 1 million Januari hii, only on *570#. Mwezi huu ni Januari moto.
Ukiwa dereva, usalama wa abiria uliowabeba uko mikononi mwako. Usiendeshe gari kama umechoka ama umelewa, na hakikisha unazingatia kasi iliyoidhinishwa. Usalama barabarani unaanza na wewe. Ujumbe huu unaletwa kwako na Kenya National Highways Authority. Quality Highways, better connections.
Kwenye ulimwengu wa sasa, taaluma za mikono zina umaarufu mwingi. Jiunge na Sensei Institute of Technology tukupe ujuzi na uzoefu wa kushughulikia ulimwengu. Tunafunza taaluma kama plant operator, plant mechanics, kuendesha gari na trailer, kuweka CCTV na alarm, kuweka solar, kuweka stima, motorcycle, motor vehicle mechanics na electronics, teknolojia ujenzi wa mijengo, ujenzi wa barabara na mabwawa, hospitality na taaluma nyinginezo. Kujiunga nasi, beba kitambulisho chako na utembelee tawi letu lolote. Sensei College, my skills, my future.
Welcome back to KBC Prime Edition, our socials at KBC Channel 1. Now, petitioners challenging the high cost of living have sought the intervention of Chief Justice Martha Koome in their quest to have their matter certified as urgent. The petitioners have raised 5 issues, among them the constitutionality of the Affordable Housing Bill 2023, alleged abuse of power by the executive and parliament to tax Kenyan citizens and businesses, and the continued eviction of Kenyans from their homes, among other issues. Details in the Scales of Justice segment.
In court papers, the petitioners say that despite seeking to have the matter certified as urgent by the High Court, Justice Chacha Mwita directed them to file and serve the petition and highlight their submissions on the 17th of June 2024. The petitioners, through lawyer Kibe Mungai, argue the petition will be rendered nugatory by June 2024 unless the notice of motion is heard as a matter of urgency and the said petition for hearing and determination sooner. Meanwhile, Milimani Psycho Judge Nixon Sifuna has ordered the alleged fake lawyer Brian Mwenda Njagi to present himself at the Muthaiga police station by noon Tuesday. The orders by the judge followed a warrant of arrest that had been issued by the Makadara law courts after Mwenda failed to appear in court to take a plea. Elsewhere, case pitting former nominated MP David Ole Sankok, threatening to kill, continued at a Milimani's magistrate court, where his former driver Rafael Torome, who is facing a criminal charge, told trial magistrate Gilbert Shikwe that his former boss maliciously reported at Narok police station without the knowledge of the OCS or the DCI.
Hapana, ilikuwa ni the same day. Uhusiano wangu na Sankoko uliharibika asubuhi moja saa 11 asubuhi. Hatujawahi kuwa na tofauti yoyote. Uhusiano uliharibika siku hiyo moja na hatukuwa ipatana tena. Ndio alikuwa amejana hasira sana.
Through his lawyer Vincent Lempa, the accused produced documents showing how his former boss sneaked an entry to the occurrence book, which was denied by the OCS.
Angalia shtaka la 3. Unaona we are referring to the charge sheet. Na muelezee mheshimiwa ni namba gani ambayo ilituma ujumbe wa kumtishia mbunge aliyekuwa mteule bwana David Sankoko.
The hearing of the matter will continue on 13 February 2024, where the 2 remaining witnesses will testify. Ruth Wamboi for Prime Edition.
The government is using probation services and aftercare to decongest prisons and help reform offenders. Principal Secretary, State Department of Correctional Services, Salome Muhia, says that government is determined to decongest prisons in the country, urging the community to learn to forgive the reformed offenders to help them avoid a repeat of their offenses. Tilio Marco reports.
In itself is very determined that we reduce the number of persons serving custodial sentences unless it's strictly necessary. And the way to go is through the work that probation and aftercare is doing. They have really been instrumental in assisting us to decongest our prisons. And once we decongest the prisons, these people through aftercare are really looked after. So we thank the community. We encourage a more collaborative approach, a more integrated approach to help people be offensive less.
If you don't give the right more, they will recidivize.
Traders and users of Safaricom's mobile money platform M-Pesa could not transact their businesses for a couple of hours Tuesday following a service outage that disrupted M-Pesa-related transactions. Among critical services affected by the outage included money transactions and buying of airtime. Joseph Wahungu with the details.
Many customers were unable to make transactions using M-Pesa for more than an hour on Tuesday, an inconvenience that began around mid-morning. A spot check by KBC Channel 1 in Nairobi's Central Business District revealed that most traders using the technology were not able to make any transactions, including paybill services.
Wakati ambapo kumekuwa na hitilafu za huduma za M-Pesa, sisi kama wafanyabiashara imetuadhiri kwa njia moja ama nyingine, ambapo mteja alikuwa anahitaji kununua kitu na asipokamilisha malipo imekuwa vigumu sana kumuuzia.
Watu wengi siku hizi watumiangi cash. So unapata mtu anakuja amenunua kitu anataka kulipa na M-Pesa, but sasa M-Pesa is not working. Alafu naona bado imekuja ika-affect vitu mingi. Imekuja ika-affect mpaka kuna hata app zingine za bank hazikuwa zinafanya zina support M-Pesa.
Customers also had difficulties buying airtime.
M-Pesa imetuaffect na at around saa 7 hapo hivyo. So our business was like at halt, ilikuwa imenyamaza kidogo because the transactions were like not working, even send money was not working.
While in Kericho County, parents taking their children back to school also got stranded.
Nilikuwa natoka pande ya Kisii kwenda Nakuru, lakini sikuwa na nauli ya kutosha, kwa sababu nilifikiria nikipiga njiani nitaweza pata njia nyingine ya kutoa pesa kwa Safaricom, yaani kwa M-Pesa.
Those who spoke to KBC expressed their frustrations at the mobile service provider, accusing the company of failing to notify them before the outage. However, in a statement, Safaricom apologized to its customers for the inconveniences caused and further confirmed that the services had been restored. For Prime Edition, I'm Joseph Wahungu.
Retired Senior Sergeant Teresia Habin was among the first few women to join the military from Lamu in the 80s. She's best remembered, for presenting a popular radio program, Salamu za Majeshi, on VOK, now KBC, Salamu za Majeshi. She graces this week's edition of Military Tales.
For this week's edition of Military Tales, we travel to Mombasa County to meet one of Kenya Defence Forces veteran, Teresia Habin, who served in the Kenya Army and retired as a senior sergeant.
Nimezaliwa sehemu ya Garsen, location ya Salama location, mwaka wa 62. Lakini mwaka wa 68 wazazi wakahama from Tana River wakaenda Lamu. Na hapo Lamu ndio niko mpaka saa hizi, na nilianzia skuli yangu ya primary Peketoni mwaka wa 72 wakati tulipohamia tu hapo. Nikafanya mtihani wangu wa CPE na nikaitwa Tarasa High School. Nikaenda pale nikasoma miaka 2, halafu nikaingia jeshi mwaka wa 80.
She was part of the first batch of women to join the military from Lamu, enrolling in the Kenya Army in 1980.
Mwaka wa 80, 27 December ndo nimereport Lang'ata ambako ndio nimefanyia training yangu ya kurutu for 6 months. Alafu nikapelekwa Women Service Corps kama kikosi changu cha kwanza ambako wanawake wakati ule miaka hiyo walikuwa wakifanya kazi.
Habin admits it was not a walk in the park, especially being a woman back then and from the coast.
Kwa kusema kweli haikuwa kwa mawazo yangu kuingia jeshi. Lakini niliposikia December hiyo, it was during the holidays, niliposikia kwa wanajeshi wanakuja kuchukuliwa Lamu, mimi nikaenda. Ni ile hali tu ya kutaka kubuni mambo, nikaenda. Na tulikuwa wanawake 3 na bahati tukachukuliwa 2. Tuseme mimi naweza kusema nilikuwa mwanamke wa kwanza kuingia jeshi miaka ile kutoka Lamu County.
She was attached to a women corps wing of the Lang'ata barracks. She also trained as a clerk in the military. As a female soldier in the 80s, she was able to navigate through challenges like his male counterparts. He recalls one frightening incident during training.
Katika jeshi hakuna ugumu. Sababu kama mwenzako anaweza kuchimba shimo aingie ambao ulikuwa unaitwa handaki, nawe pia unachimba lazima uingie. Kama ni kitu ambacho kinaitwa route march, you have to walk. Kama ni kilomita 10 ambazo mwenzako ametembea na mko pamoja na umebeba mzigo na yeye amebeba mzigo, lazima na wewe utembee kama yeye. So tulipoenda kichakani kufundishwa jinsi ya kuchimba handaki, jinsi ya kuhepa adui na kujisaidia, mahali nilipo roll kuamka hivi nikaamka kuna nyoka yuko pale na siwezi kuondoka. Asa ilikuwa ni pale nipige yowe nije nisaidie na instructor na hairuhusiwi. Hiyo ndio ilikuwa kitu ambacho kidogo kilinichanganya, lakini nashukuru Mungu hata ile nyoka iko nyuma na ile nyoka ikaja ikasaidiwa ikauawa pale na alikuwa nyoka mkubwa.
In 1982, during the botched coup, her women corps unit was on standby to quell the violence that was within the city.
Tukaambiwa tuamke haraka sana na tukaamka. Na nilipoamka kulikuwa na mabunduki mengi, kulikuwa na vita vinaendelea, lakini ilikuwa hatuelewi ni nini. Tukaenda tukaambiwa tuvae uniform, tukaenda mahali panaitwa Parade Square hapo tu ndani. Tukaelezwa kuwa serikali imechukuliwa na majeshi na tutulie. Sisi kama Women Service Corps walikuwa wale waliopindua hakuturuhusu tutoke pale ndani ya kambi. Tulikaa tu mahali tulipokuwa. So wale tuliokuwa nao wakubwa zetu wakatuambia tutulie tungoje kitakacho endelea.
Later on in 1989, Teresia would be the first woman presenter of the famous Salamu za Majeshi radio program in the then VOK, now KBC, where she also rubbed shoulders with media veterans like Leonard Mambo Mbotela.
1989, jeshi waliona ni vizuri niende. Kulikuwa na mwenzangu ambaye alikuwa anafanya Salamu za Majeshi, alikuwa anaitwa Sid Joseph na mzee Mwangemi, na wote walikuwa natoka jeshi na wakasema hii nafasi tabaki bila mtu. So wakanichukua na wakanambia niende. By then it was VOK. Nikaenda kufanya interview na alinifanyisha Leonard Mambo na nikapita. Na akasema hiyo sauti anaipenda. Kwa hivyo nikaandiwa over na nikapelekwa Kenya Institute of Mass Communication for 3 months. Paka wakati nilipokuja nikaondoka.
She recalls back in the day the military did not send female soldiers on foreign peace missions, but that has now changed.
Wakati ule tulipoingia jeshi hiyo miaka ya 80, kina mama walikuwa hawaendi nje. Sisi ilikuwa ni kukaa tu ndani. Ukishakumaliza training unatafutiwa course. Unaenda course fulani, unaenda unatachiwa katika units za jeshi unafanya kazi. Kwa hivyo wakati wangu nilikuwa niko pale miaka ile niliokaa mimi sikuweza kwenda nje.
Teresia commends the military for engaging veterans in nation building. Her military background saw her secure after retirement job as a security supervisor in a number of 5-star hotels in the coast.
Wakati nilitoka, I was even the first woman to be a security officer in Dianrif. Waliposikia tu nimetoka jeshi wakanichukua as a security officer, si mlangoni bali kusimamia hoteli nzima, and it was a 5-star hotel. So that is a skill ambayo pia najivunia.
She enjoys spending time in the church during her free time and tending to her duties as the Kenya Veterans for Peace coordinator in Lamu County. Now retired, Teresia is engaged in farming, beadwork and other businesses.
Mimi ni mkulima, huwa ninafanya kilimo biashara na ninafanya biashara zangu za vikapu, nimejinvolve kuuza vikapu na pia beadwork, natengeneza shanga nikiuza kwa udogo na kwa wingi.
She has rallied Kenyans to cement the unity and peace that binds us together despite the continent's many challenges.
Hata ugumu ukiwako, tuendelee kumwamini Mungu kuwa siku moja Mungu atafanya wepesi wa mambo.
For Military Tales,
wanukumbuke kuwa nimetumia salamu za majeshi kwa wingi na upendo.
I'm Ben Troy Njue.
What about mambo fantastic even not scholastic? Chota kuchota na Hatia Supermarket imerudi. Ukifanya tu shopping ya shilingi 1,000, wewe unaingia kwa promotion ya chota kuchota na Hatia Supermarket. Watu wanaendelea kushinda ndani ya Hatia Supermarket. What tata? Kitoko. Hey, wewe na umeshinda nini? Hamsa, uoga na lala. Karibu ndani ya Hatia Supermarket uweze kuchota kwa wingi kabisa. Watu wanasema nini? Nakwambia kwamba chota kuchota. Unangoja nini?
Magari 7 za kushindaniwa, TV, fridge, microwave, shopping vouchers, school fees vouchers, instant prizes na zawadi zingine kemkem. Chota kuchota imethaminiwa na Hetia's Oven Fresh Bakery, Gigabyte, Mount Kenya Milk, Clover's Food Products, Velvex, Magic Drink, Pwani Oil, Arenco, Fruit Juice, Masterchef, Toilex, Coolsip, Mika, Wash Ultra, Philos, Bristol, Nivea, My Choice, Ushindi, Fresh Fry, Arimis Jelly, Cabernet Water, Dettol, Ketepa, Meta, Glucose, Coca-Cola, Rosy Tissue, Big Giant, Elbins, Unilever, Fresh, Unga wa Dola, Blue Band na Pasta Star. Shindano la chota kuchota linaanza tarehe 1 Disemba hadi tarehe 10 Februari mwaka 2024.
Hatia Supermarket, a world of choice.
In a world filled with uncertainty, there is one thing we can always count on: the power of compassion and generosity. Every day, families in Kenya face unimaginable challenges and hardships. They struggle to put food on the table, provide shelter for their loved ones, and access basic health care. But today, you have the power to make a difference. By just contributing 1 shilling and 50 cents from your airtime, your generosity can provide access to sanitary pads, nutritious food, clean water, education, and life-saving medical care to those who need it most. To support this cause, please tune in to your favorite radio station under the KBC umbrella for step-by-step instructions on how to subscribe. KBC Helping Hands. Together, we can make a difference and bring hope to those in need.
Mchezaji wa Loto Moto.
Mungu abariki sana.
Ni wengi wanakushukuru bila hata wewe kufahamu.
Niliona Mungu wa ajabu ameshuka.
Ni wengi wanaokuaminia.
Imejaa, imebaki, yani hamtasabi.
Ni wengi wanaokuombea ushindi.
Hawa ndio niachiwe na mama yao wakati aligojeka kwa muda.
Ni wengi unaowagusa kwa kuwapa afueni na imani ya maisha.
Asante na Mungu akubariki pia.
Ni wengi unawatembelea.
Through hii program ndo tunajua vitu zingine.
Na imani yako inawapa amani.
Akaaga juu ya kansa.
Ushindi wako ni wa wengi.
Roma niendanga, Roma.
Asante mchezaji wa Loto Moto.
Welcome to the business segment. I am sitting in for the business news anchor. The government has set coffee minimum price at 80 shillings per kilo. Cooperatives and micro and small enterprise Cabinet Secretary Simon Chelugui says that the price was arrived at after consultation with all stakeholders and will protect farmers from fluctuating coffee prices.
In the latest coffee auction at the Nairobi Coffee Exchange,
A total of 23,167 bags of coffee were sold, generating 5.3 billion shillings. However, farmers have been receiving less than $1 despite the good prices. To protect farmers from exploitation, the government has fixed the buying price of a kilo of raw coffee at 80 shillings. Cooperative Cabinet Secretary Simeon Chelgui says lack of a minimum buying price has opened up farmers for exploitation by a section of value chain players.
You don't have to bring your coffee to the market if you are not happy with the price. This has never happened for the last 60 years. In the reforms, the farmers have the right to introduce or withdraw their coffee based on the prices prevailing at that time. Sasa tumesema kama unataka kuhusika na biashara ya kahawa uchakue license moja. You choose to be a miller, remain a miller alone. You choose to be a marketer, be a marketer alone.
The minimum coffee buying price has been among a raft of regulations proposed by the government that are geared towards revitalizing the coffee subsector. This as the government also announces an increase of the Cherry Revolving Fund from 2 billion shillings to 6 billion shillings.
Kitu ambacho kinatusumbua na mimi nataka nikuulize Waziri Chelgui rafiki yangu. Mimi mkitembea Western wale wanapanda sugar cane. Munapata wamelemewa, mnawakuamua mnawaambia ile madeni tumefutilia mbali. Sasa wacha nikupatie report. Hawa wamebeba mzigo hata wamechoka.
Coffee farmers have been asking the government to increase Cherry Fund loan limit from the current average of 20 shillings per kilo. Leaders from the Lower Eastern are asking the government to consider writing off debt owed by coffee cooperatives in the area.
Bigsa farmers and value chain players will have to be registered by the Agriculture and Food Authority as regulator plans formalizes the subsector. FAA says that the crop which is used to manufacture pharmaceutical and cosmetic products will also have a minimum price return to protect farmers from exploitation.
Bigsa farmers in the coastal counties have welcomed Agricultural and Food Authority AFA plans to start price regulations for Bigsa to guarantee the minimum returns. The farmers say the Bigsa subsector has been overrun by cartels, reducing farmers' earnings.
Katika sheria mpya ni jina tu linabadilika na kuwa agent. Agent ni kumaanisha yule broker anatabulika kisheria. Bora tu afuate maagizo na sheria ambazo serikali imeweka ili aweze kumhudumia yule mkulima kulingana na soko ya kisasa.
Hii sheria ingekuwa imepita leo kuliko jana.
In the regulations, Bigsa farmers and value chain players will have a seat in the pricing committee.
Kama kuna kilimo kizuri kinaendelea vizuri hapa Lamu County ni kilimo ya Bigsa kwa sababu haina gharama na inazaa vizuri sana.
Sheria iwekwe, sheria ya ukweli, bila udanganyifu, ikuwe ni haki. Na tukiletwa hiyo tutafurahi. Watu wote watalima rangi katika Lamu nzima.
Among other proposals, the regulator is proposing an import levy on raw Bigsa and processed Bigsa products shall be at a rate of 2% and 5% of the custom value to protect local production from cheap imports. Bigsa is a cash crop that is used in the manufacture of cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, and food color. Parsai Frederick, Prime Edition.
Kenyan startups are set to benefit from a 6-month climate funding initiative to enhance their revenue streams, expand their client base and optimize their operations. The accelerator program by Pangea targets businesses in sustainable agriculture, the circular economy, conservation technology, waste management, renewable energy and nature-based solutions.
Kenyan startups focusing on climate-related initiatives are poised to benefit from a substantial funding of up to 40 million shillings under the Climate Tech Accelerator Program. The initiative, spearheaded by Pangea Accelerator, plans to select 10 businesses for a 6-month program starting from next month to August this year. The Accelerator program, being implemented in conjunction with Luthania Fund for Development Cooperation and Humanitarian Aid, aims to bolster startups in sustainable agriculture, the circular economy, conservation technology, waste management, renewable energy and nature-based solutions with the aim of enhancing their revenue streams, expand their client base and optimize their operations as the program is aimed to the specific needs of each business. The founder of Pange Accelerator, Jonas Tefu, underscored the significance of the program for these startups and small to medium-sized enterprises, SMEs in the climate tech space, saying the program offers not only funding opportunities but also access technical expertise and mentorship across various sectors, including nature-based solutions and ocean tech aquaculture. He further says most beneficiaries will be drawn from the East African region, which has experienced its own share of climate-related challenges, including floods and drought.
Meanwhile, a section of environmentalists are asking the government to further incentivize the renewable energy subsector to combat climate change. The experts drawn from various organizations say embracing renewable energy will, in the long run, reduce energy costs in the country and ensure majority of Kenyans have access to cheap energy.
Kenya energy matrix is dominated by renewables, with almost 90% of its electricity coming from green sources. The country's energy mix is dominated by bioenergy at 64.6%, oil products at 16.9%, and renewable energy sources such as wind and solar at 15.2%. The government has been keen on propping up green energy as it seeks to reduce its carbon footprint. To further lower its emissions, environmentalists are urging the government to incentivize green energy production to attract more local and foreign green energy producers.
As a young person, I'm trying so much to sensitize the youths, to also sensitize the farmers to be able to move to the green energy, and in this case, the biogas technology, which helps in the reduction of cutting down of trees, in the reduction of maybe the effects of the respiratory systems that mostly is caused by the use of the charcoal.
We need now to try as much as possible to reduce the emissions of carbon and also even methane gas, because these are the key drivers of climate change, of damaging our climate. And now if they are able to embrace clean energy, we are sure that by 2050 we are going to hit our net zero campaign of zero carbon emission.
Players in the environment sector want additional green policies to regulate and assist renewable energy startups operate in the country.
This also includes the farmers, and also trying to sensitize also the government to be able to support their country people to embrace green energy or the use of this new technology that is not affecting our ozone layer.
There is an opportunity for you as an organization or as an individual to earn carbon credits. We know, as per the discussions that we had in COP28, citizens that are embracing tree planting can have an opportunity to earn carbon credits through the trees that they plant. And most of the organizations in the world are very much into it in supporting the reduction of the carbon in the environment.
Trevor Ngendo for Prime Edition.
That's today's business. Coming up, Daniel Wahome with the look at the sports.
Cheza Loto Moto.
School fees mtoto imelipwa, lakini bado tunataka kuendelea throughout.
Loto Moto imekuja kwa maisha yetu when I needed it the most. That is all I can say for now. I'm so grateful. May God bless you.
Cheza Loto Moto. Shinda pesa moto moto.
Get ready for the captivating return of the FKF Premier League, exclusively on KBC. Brace yourself for the thrill of football as 18 teams battle it out for glory. Every week, KBC brings you not one, but two heart-pounding matches, delivering the best football action right to your living room. The stakes are higher than ever. The league champion takes home a handsome prize of 5 million shillings and also earns the honor of representing Kenya in the prestigious CAF Champions League. Feel the adrenaline, experience the suspense, and join the roar of the crowd as we celebrate the return of Kenya's football legacy. The FKF Premier League, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1 and KBC radio stations. Save the date, mark your calendars, and get ready for the ultimate football spectacle. Coming to you live only on KBC. KBC, your true sports partner.
Evening to you and welcome to Prime Edition Sport. My name is Daniel Wahome. Now, entries for this year's WRC Safari Rally have opened and will close on the 26th of February ahead of the event, which is the third round of the WRC 2024 calendar, and it's scheduled to take place over the Easter holiday. The WRC Safari Rally, which will be held in Naivasha, will cover a total distance of approximately 1,300 kilometers, with the actual competitive distance being 356 kilometers.
The management team of this year's WRC Safari Kenya is expected to hit the ground running in preparation for the championship that will start from 28th March at the KICC and finish on the 31st at Hell's Gate in Naivasha. The team will be led by Jim Kaumbura as the event director and assisted by Chris Kira, while Gurveer Babra will be the clerk, of course, and he will be deputized by Onkar Kalsi, with the assistants being George Mwangi, George Njoroge, Nazir Yakub, Hudson Ujiambo and Vincent Kaduki. Anwar Sidi is a route liaison and media safety officer, assisted by Tabitha Nashipai on the route. Musa Loche remains the chief scrutineer, so does Norris Songalo as the chief safety officer. The WRC Safari Rally, which will be located in Naivasha, will cover a total distance of 1,299.22 kilometers, with the total competitive distance being 355.92 kilometers. The 13-leg World Rally Circuit calendar begins in Monte Carlo on January 25th to 28th, while the second round is scheduled February 15th to 18th in Sweden. Kenya Safari Rally, returning to its traditional date, will be the third on the circuit.
Now, Kenya Nationals curling team hopes to register impressive results in this year's continental and international championships. In February 2021, the Kenya Curling Federation became the second African country after Nigeria to join the World Curling Federation. Soon after, Kenya's team was formed and began taking part in the sport played on ice and snow. The Kenyan men's and women's teams finished in 8th and 6th positions respectively during last year's Pan-Continental Curling Championship in British Columbia, Canada. The Kenyan team went on to participate in the Canadian Championship and gained invaluable experience that will be helpful to the squad in the forthcoming tournaments. The team is hopeful of qualifying for some of the major international championships, including the Deaflympics and Winter Olympics, scheduled to take place in the Italian cities of Milan and Cortina in 2026. Now, Greg Snow went to the top of the leaderboard after day 3 of the ongoing third leg of the Safari Tour Golf Series at the Sigona Golf Club. Greg's outstanding performance, marked by a remarkable 4 under par 68 today, propelled him to the top with a total score of 206, exchanging leads with overnight leader Mohit Medirata, who dropped to second place with a total score of 210. Samuel Njoroge and Njoroge Kibugu were joined third with total scores of 211. The championship is set to conclude tomorrow with the winner walking away with 150,000 shillings. After the Sigona leg, the series moves to the Limuru Country Club on the 13th to the 17th of January, then head to Mboya at the end of the month. It will culminate with the final leg at Karen from the 3rd to the 7th of February. At the conclusion of the series, top 8 players will earn slots at this year's Magical Kenya Open.
Got off to a good start on the front nine. I thought there was a low score out there today, but in general, I played well the first 9 holes. I felt like I left a few shots out there on the back 9, but in terms of that, it's a solid round, yes.
We've just concluded round 3 of the Sigona Safari Tour event, which is the 3rd event in this year's series, as our professional golfers gear up and prepare for the Magical Kenya Open 2024.
And Africa Cup of Nations holder Senegal registered a 1-0 victory over Niger in a closely contested friendly match played at the start by Abdoulaye Wade. In other friendlies, Ghana were held to a goalless draw by Namibia, while Guinea beat Nigeria by 2-0.
Senegal came into the match as the favourite to defend the continental crown they secured 2 years ago, aiming to demonstrate their readiness in the final turn-up before the upcoming competitions. Fomose Mendy scored the lone goal for Senegal in the extra time of the second half to assure them 1-0 win over Niger. Despite the Lions of Teranga being held to a goalless draw by Togo in the world qualifying, the African champions remain in control of their progress with a 4th consecutive clean sheet in all competitions. In other friendlies, Ghana were held to a goalless draw by Namibia, while Guinea beat Nigeria 2-0.
And that's the sport for tonight, and thank you for being with us. Remember, we'll have more to cover tomorrow, including the final round of the Sigona Tour of the Safari Tour Golf Series. My name is Daniel Wahome. Have a good evening. Over to you, Mboya.
Thank you, Holmes. And thank you, Brian Muraro. You have done a good job on the sign language docket. The team in the back end as well, I want to thank you. And thank you for watching. My name is Mboya. Good night from Nairobi, Kenya. We'll see you next week on Monday. Bye-bye.